Hey guys, welcome to Working with Spirits. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate this. I appreciate the growth that I've seen here on this channel. Thank you so much. I'm very much surprised, but it's a very pleasant surprise. So, without further ado, I'd like to talk about Clauneck. Okay, so I think that Clauneck is important to discuss here because he's very much well known in the spiritual community for being a spirit that helps people secure more wealth and more resources. And, there's a lot that you can find that has to do with spells and summoning of Clauneck. But I think that sometimes there's this assumption that Clauneck will just rain money out of the sky for the summoner. And in my experience, it's not like that particularly, no. So this is my experience with Clauneck. And first, let me just give a brief summary of description. Clauneck is a goetic demon who appears in the Secrets of Solomon. Okay, so this is a 16th or 17th century text. So in the Grimorium Verum, I hope I'm saying that right, Grimorium Verum. Okay, so this is a book, an old grimoire in the tradition of Solomon. It says that Clauneck has the power over goods, money, and finances, and can bestow great wealth, and also that he's much loved by Lucifer. Okay. So it is also said that he has access to the astral bank vault, and he can bring wealth and so on. And I would say that this is true, Also, other occultists go into more detail. V.K. Johannem has on his blog, he has some information about Clauneck as well. Okay. Clauneck is associated with the planet Mercury and also Saturn. And so that means that it would be good to summon him on a Tuesday. He's considered a day demon. So if you can summon him on a Tuesday between, in the morning or afternoon between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., that would be good. Some also say he can be summoned on Wednesday. Of course, you can summon a spirit at any time, but for the best results, it's recommended to follow their hours, their planetary hours and associations. Okay, so Clauneck is said to be very close to Lucifer. All right, and so there's also more information about Clauneck as being the Lord of the Air, true Lord of the Air. And so, I would say go ahead and look into what you can find out about Clauneck through your own research. So personally, what I see with Clauneck is that, yes, Clauneck will assist the sorcerer, the summoner, the witch, the asker. Clauneck will assist with opening up more opportunities for resources. And Clauneck will assist with your goals if you so ask, and you ask in the correct way. Yes, I feel that Clauneck will assist. For example, I have asked for a laptop. I did get one. It was through someone giving me a laptop, And it's funny because I just now remembered that. I remember, like, wait a minute, I did ask for a laptop and I got one. And that's funny because that's how magic works sometimes. We ask for something and we forget. And that's actually the best way, because when you can forget and put it to the side, there's less resistance. You're putting up less resistance and you're able to get that result a little bit better. So, yes, that's one thing that I asked for. I believe I asked for, it was either a phone. I definitely asked for an apartment. Yes, which I did get. So there was a few things that I've gone to Clauneck for. I also was seeking extra income, other sources of income. And I feel that Clauneck assisted me with that. So I was able to become a psychic advisor on a platform. Okay. And initially I wasn't able to find the time to work on that platform. But when I started working with Clauneck, I started to find more time to get on there, and I started to build more of a following on my platform, where I work as a psychic advisor. So those are some examples of real world results that I have had with Clauneck. I've asked Clauneck for some advice before about business opportunities, and he's answered me every time with his honest, from what I feel is his honest input. Okay, so that being said, we know that Clauneck can work for a person, and can help bring you more of what you desire. Now, of course, there's always a caveat. And so the caveat that I've noticed, at least in my case, is that I've had to really work more than I used to, it's like I'm really almost like I'm getting a whole new type of education in running a business, because prior to my ascent, in my working with spirits, I have been very personally, like many people, attached to working a regular job. And that's not something that's been easy for me to break personally, because I got the same education as most people, and I just learned the same things that most people learn when it comes to employment and security. And I've started to realize, through my ascent and working with spirits, that learning not to depend on a job, on a regular 9-to-5 job, is almost like breaking an addiction for me, and I think for a lot of people. Most people have to be forced out of the 9-to-5 hustle, daily grind, because it's kind of like you think it's healthy, nobody looks at it as an addiction or a codependency, because what could be wrong with that? You go to a job, you get paid every week, every 2 weeks. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it. However, when you're on the left-hand path or you're on your spiritual ascent, the spirits are going to want you to grow, okay? And that's what I want to talk about with Clauneck. Clauneck is for the most part, from what I've seen, Clauneck is going to want the person that he works with, that if you come to him, he's going to want to see some growth. He's going to want to see some growth. So that means that most likely you might have to try something new that you haven't tried before. You may have to open a business, start selling some stuff. Look into your talents. Do more of what you're good at. And depending on your particular path, this could feel pretty harsh at times. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, when you're working with Clauneck will definitely work with you. If you approach Clauneck in a respectful and realistic manner. Okay, you're not coming asking for $5 million out of the sky. You're coming and you want a particular, and I'm going to talk about how to ask for what you want here, but in a moment. But if you approach Clauneck in a reasonable manner, yes, Clauneck will help you and will work with you. But sometimes you may not get what you wanted exactly because the Spirit wants you to grow past a certain level that and especially if you're on the ascension path. And you might, which is the spiritual awakening path. You working with spirits, you're looking into all kinds of occult things. Now, see, when you're on the ascent, it's about going up, going higher. So, you want to. It's like you're on the ascension path, but part of a lot of people, you want to stay safe, right? You don't want to change it that much. It's too scary, or you just weren't prepared for some radical change. But yes, you will most likely, if you work with Clauneck, you'll get some results, but the better results come from you going outside of your comfort zone and creating some other sources of revenue that you did not have before. So I suggest that if you're working with Clauneck, if you want to work with Clauneck, I suggest that you have more than one stream of revenue. Just try to have a few, because you don't know which door that Clauneck is going to bring this revenue from. Okay, like if you only have a job and you want to ask Clauneck for some increase here, you might get a little bit of increase, but it's not going to be a major. From what I've seen, it's not going to be a major increase. So that's one point I want to make is that working with Clauneck, try to have some other sources. Try to be developing, at least in the process of developing, some other sources of income, some other sources of revenue, so that you have multiple ways that the money can come to you, the resources can come to you. Okay. Also, when you do approach Clauneck, it's best not to ask directly for money. It's best to because sometimes when we're asking for money, we have too many negative emotions tied with that. So it's best to just ask for the thing that you actually want. So maybe it's a new house, or it's a new car, or it's maybe it's a new job, or maybe it's more business clients or something like that. Okay, so that would be a better way to approach Clauneck, is by specifically asking for a particular thing rather than asking for a whole bunch of money. Okay. So let me give you an example here of how you can contact Clauneck. So what you can do, there's many ways. What you can do is meditate for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. You can call King Lucifer first and ask him to assist you with connecting with Clauneck. And so, to call King Lucifer, you chant the N, Renish Tasa Ubraka Biasa Ikar Lucifer. So you chant that, and you can chant it multiple times, 10 times, 20 times. You just go into a meditation here. You can have King Lucifer's sigil in front of you. You can have a candle, black candle, and some incense. And you can use myrrh, sandalwood, copal, any of these. Any kind of incense. I have incense of mercury that I got from adleysmagic.com. Adleysmagic.com has a lot of nice incense that you can use for rituals. Anyways, so you burn your incense. You can even have a glass of water there. I like to have water because I like to just have representation of all the 4 elements when I call upon a spirit. So once you are calling on Lucifer, now you say, King Lucifer, please assist me with connecting with Clauneck. Okay, then you can call Clauneck directly. Have his N nearby. Have his sigil nearby. A candle. So you have Clauneck's sigil, you have his candle, you have some incense. You can use sandalwood, copal. You can use myrrh, frankincense, or I like using incense of mercury that I got from Adley's Magic. But any kind of special incense that would be good. And also you can have a glass of wine as an offering for Clauneck. I was able to offer water. He asked me for water today because I didn't have wine. So he accepted the water. Okay. And so you will meditate over that sigil and you call Clauneck, and you can use Clauneck's N to call him. And let me see. Now that N is very similar to that N is very similar to the N for Lucifer. So that is goodness gracious. Avalon, Essen, Clauneck, Kiar. Okay, no, that one's not very similar at all. Avalon, Essen, Clauneck, Kiar. Okay. So, Avalon, Essen, Clauneck, Kiar. And so you're chanting, you're meditating, and you start thinking about what you want to manifest. Okay. And so what you can do is you can bleed over the sigil. You can place a drop of blood over the sigil of Clauneck. All right. And then you can start to visualize what you want. And then you can say it out loud. Clauneck, I have a new car. I have a brand new car. It runs amazing. It's awesome. I love my new car. I'm jumping in my new car. It's running great. I can finally drive around town to places I need to go. I can get more things done. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much, Clauneck. Thank you for this brand new car. So you always say it in present tense when you speak to these spirits or when you're doing magic. Speak in present tense as if you have it already and feel those feelings. Some people can take it a step further. You can take it a step further. You can write down directly around that sigil what you want to manifest, or you can say it. Okay, but I think for now, I mean, it's very simple. It worked for me when I simply just bled over the sigil, and I visualized what I wanted, and I also spoke it out into existence as well. Okay. And so this is a ritual that you can do that will take maybe 15, 20 minutes. You can take 30 minutes. You can take an hour if you want. But just make sure that you are purely positively focused. Don't go in there into this ritual crying about what you don't have. That's a waste of time, because that's going to mess up the spell work if you do it that way. Okay, because you're sending out a vibration of lack. So you don't want that. You want to avoid desperation. You want to avoid lack. So just be completely positive in your rituals. Even if you can't be positive throughout the day, at least when you're doing a ritual, be positive. And yes, and when you're doing this ritual with Clauneck, be positive. Okay? And Clauneck will bring you your desire. You may even talk to him, you may even ask him some questions, but stay positive as much as possible. Don't go into a negative place. Clauneck, I'm struggling. Don't do that. Not while you're doing a ritual like this. You can always talk to Clauneck on a separate occasion if you want to just talk to Clauneck and get some kind of information about your situation, because I've also done that, where you might want to have a conversation with Clauneck. Okay, but when you're doing a ritual like this, it's best to just be positively focused. So, that being said, I want you to remember, if you're working with Clauneck, that when it comes to wealth creation, he is the spirit is very positively focused, and he does not deal with a bunch of doubt and negative emotion. Okay. He may understand it. He may understand our pain, our frustration, and our turmoil and all of that, because we there's a lot of struggling that people go through. But he's not going to be very much focused on that at all. So if you start developing a relationship with Clauneck, you might be noticing that you're having to work harder than you used to. You might notice that, wait a minute, like I'm doing a lot more stuff. Like oh my gosh, I've started a business. Oh my gosh, I'm learning how to advertise my business. Oh my gosh, I never did that before. Oh, I never made my own advertisements. I never, it's just, you might start noticing, like, wait a minute, I sure am working hard these days. Since I started working with Clauneck, I sure am working a lot harder. I've started 3 businesses. What's going on? You might notice that, because I feel that Clauneck will most likely give some kind of push for you to do these things, some kind of inspiration for you to do these things, but you will be doing work by your own hands. So basically, it's not about being lazy. If you really want to create wealth, you have to be more active. That it's just that simple. Even if you're active in creating passive income, you still have to take an action here. You have to learn how to create passive income. You have to do things. You have to lay the foundation. So you might notice, like, wow, I sure am more focused on my goals these days since I've been working with Clauneck. And you might find like, wait a minute, okay, I'm making more money, but it's trickling in little by little. But, see, it's like, it's the reason that I feel that Clauneck is like this is because it's like with King Lucifer and and many of the spirits in general. They want people who come to them to be brought up higher, okay? Higher, and be almost like Spartan. Okay, Sparta is an ancient nation of these strong people, right? That we know about from these ancient Greek times and all of that. This is Sparta. Everybody knows this is Sparta, right? So it's like these spirits, you come to them, right? And we're all broken down and weak, when we come to them, most of us, a lot of us, because, just life stuff happened. They're going to want to build you up. And it can be done, but it's like they're not going to come and give you like a free pass. From what I see, that's not going to happen. Like this free pass of, okay, well, you know what? You get to skip the line. You get to skip the line. Come on. Everybody else is working hard, but because you're sad and down, we're going to skip you to the front of the line. They're not going to, these spirits aren't going to do it like that. You're going to still have to put in the work. And it's not easy, especially when you are someone like, let's say you're a star seed, or you're a chosen, right? Or you're just you're an empath, or any of these, scapegoat or black sheep, a witch, wizard, whatever you want to call it, or just any of these. You're a shaman in training. A lot of us carry a lot of emotion, a lot of emotional baggage. A lot of us, we were never the competitive ones, in school, or we were never the ones who were like, super, just super competitive, right? I don't know about you, but I definitely wasn't. So I guess I can only really speak for myself. But I know that a lot of empaths we're more like the meek ones, right? And we're not necessarily these sharks. But so when you work with these spirits, right, like Clauneck, okay, these are ancient gods, ancient deities and spirits, right? They are powerful, right? I mean, they are going to want to change your life and change you. They're going to want to turn you into a Spartan, a winner. They're going to want to really, revolutionize your life when you really start working with them. I'm not going to say this is how it is from the beginning, but it does depend on your intent. I mean, maybe you don't want all of that, maybe you just want a little bit of progress, and then you'll get a little bit of progress. But I have noticed, not just for me, but other people who've worked with Clauneck, I mean, you're going to become transformed into someone else. It's you, but it's just, I guess it's you, but better, right? But you're just going to be transformed into somebody with a very strong mind for the most part, from what I see, that is able to ignore distractions. Because if you're too emotional, you're not able to ignore distractions in the form of toxic people, in the form of toxic family members, in the form of toxic relationships. When you're super emotional, it's hard to ignore that. So, and I want to talk about how, see, part of the evolution that people go through when they work with spirits is a lot of trials, actually, and a lot of discomfort, and that serves its purpose as well. So I'm gonna leave it here, okay? I think this is long enough. This is not to scare you off from working with Clauneck. I mean, obviously, Clauneck can change your life. There's a book that I have called Wealth Magic that now this book I haven't used yet. I haven't started working with that. Now this book, Wealth Magic, let me see if I can open it on my computer. This book, I believe it's by Damon Brand from the Gallery of Magic, but I just want to check. Yes, it is. Damon Brand from the Gallery of Magic. So Wealth Magic is a book that is available on Amazon, and that is a book that specifically works with Clauneck. Okay. So this book works with Clauneck. And I wanted to work with this book, but let me see. Wait, does it work with Clauneck? My goodness. Because I just tried to look in this book to see about the Clauneck. I thought this book worked with Clauneck, but now I'm not so sure. So never mind. I don't know. There was a book that he had that works with Clauneck, and I thought that it was that book, but I guess not. Is it Magical Riches? Let me see. You know what? I'm so sorry about that. I don't see it. Anyway, he has the book Magical Riches, which is pretty good. And also Wealth Magic, which I thought worked with Clauneck, but I guess I was wrong about that. But yeah. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until next time, take care. Peace.